Good evening. How are you all, Sanatan? All well? All good? Okay. So, before we just start with the topic, let me just briefly give a brief introduction of mine. Good evening, all of you. Myself, Shalini Kumari Keshri, and I'm a plus educator in Unacademy. I have done my master's in medical physiology, and I take bio of all the four sections 9th, 11th, and 12th. Well, Standard 10, quickly, I'll make you acquainted with what is Unacademy Plus. So, Unacademy Plus is the platform of Unacademy, which is a paid platform. Here, you have to take a subscription for it, and whatever subscription you take, you are able to avail all the subjects in that very subscription rate, be it physics, chemistry, mathematics, English, biology, whatsoever. So basically, like I have few hours to come up in the YouTube, but I have to go almost everyday life in the Plus platform. Therefore, we are providing you with a proper PDF study material. We are covering each and every topic in detail. There is a regular doubt solving classes, and what I can say, all the top good educators under one platform. Now here Standard 10 Unacademy has brought up with something Unacademy iconic subscription. So whatever features are there of the Plus, it's all there. Apart from that, here personal mentor is assigned, live doubt solving platform is there, weekly report is given, parents connection is made, and educators help you out to properly plan out your studies so that you give best for exam. Now there are different rates for the Plus and the iconic. So basically whatever subscription you take, at the end here it will be coming insert referral code. A very humble request, please do use my referral code as SK10. By this you will be getting 10% of instant discount, and definitely I get motivation that under my name students are coming up. Separately, the batches are going in Unacademy Plus. Separately, the batches are going in English and Hindi. So you won't be having any problem with the language. I'm there in the batch course for standard 9th, 11th and 12th in the English batch for biology. Recently, we have just started with a one-shot revision. In the month of February also, we'll be coming up with a one-shot revision batch. This will be very helpful for you. Now, if you feel, ma'am, what if now we come with the Unacademy Plus? Nothing to worry. You have all the recorded lectures with you. Apart from that, we are coming up with a revision batches. So revision batches will be helping you to prepare yourself in a better way for the examination. Separately, in Unacademy Plus, test series are held up, subjective test series, objective test series, so that in a very better way you prepare yourself for the exam. Every month, Unacademy brings Unacademy Ascent, in which NCERT questions are asked. Number of questions are 60, marks is 100, and you have all sort of chances to win the Unacademy subscription free. Now here on 31st, Standard 10 Unacademy Combat is going to come. This is going to be very, very helpful for all of you, because this is the biggest contest that will help you help Standard 10 to prepare for the exam. So this is all what Unacademy brings up. Different batches are going on, and it never leaves anything to which will help you to boost your preparation. Unacademy Combat Scholarship and Revisathon, that is Ascend and Revisathon, all is there for you so that you can prepare yourself in a better way for the examination. Last but not the least, here comes a creative corner. Sitting back at home, you can completely prepare yourself with different creativity, poetry, storytelling, and debating, Vedic maths. So whatever subscription you take, please do use my referral code as SK10. By this, you will be getting 10% of discount, and definitely I do get motivation that under my name students are coming up. So all there. Can I just audio, video, all clear? Can you please let me know? Okay. So here we'll be starting with the today's topic with plant nutrition. Okay. Well, this is from the chapter Life Process. 1 minute, please. Let me just check it out. Yeah. Audio, video, all clear? Good evening, all of you. Now let me just quickly move with the chapter. So today's topic is in respect of plant nutrition. Once again, Starting with our nutrition, let us go with what is nutrition. If I'm talking about plant nutrition, what am I talking specifically about basically? So autotrophic, in that I'll be talking about the photosynthesis. Well, before I start with the plant nutrition, let me go ahead with what is nutrition. If I ask you students what is nutrition, so will it be coming? Well, see, the basic requirement of each and every living organism, be it unicellular, be it multicellular, it is the food. Why? Because food is providing us the energy as well as the raw material to build up the body, energy to carry out all the metabolic activity. So the process of taking in of food, that is said to be as a nutrition. I repeat once again that each and every living organism, be it a unicellular or a multicellular whatsoever, they definitely do require food. Why? Because food is providing us the energy to carry out the metabolic activity as well as the raw material. Why do we require the raw material? For the growth and development of the body. So the process of taking in of food is said to be as the nutrition, and the food that we take in is said to be as a nutrient. Now, energy is needed for life process. All the living organism need energy to perform the various life process. It is each and every metabolic activity, they do require energy. They get this from the food. Food acts as a fuel for a living organism. Nutrition, food is the basic requirement of all living organism, as it provides energy and raw material to build up the body and to carry out various metabolic activity. It is called the food that we take in, it is a nutrient. The process by which the living organism take in the food in order to carry out the various metabolic activities, the nutrition. The major component, now if I talk about the major component of the food, it is a carbohydrate, protein and fat. Vitamin and mineral is also required, but in small quantity. Water plays a very important role as it is helping in the metabolic functions and prevent the dehydration of the body. The basic component of the food help in providing the same thing. What's the main role? Why do we require the nutrient? We require the nutrient because they are providing us the energy to carry out the metabolic activity as well as the raw material for the growth and development of the body. Now, if I check about this, the composition of these cells, so water 70 to 90%, protein 10 to 15%, carbohydrate 3%, lipid 2%, nucleic acid 5 to 7%, and ions 1%. Here comes actually mode of nutrition. Now, fine, this is important that each and every living organism, they do require nutrient. But how do they obtain the nutrition? Like, are they synthesizing their own food or are they depending on the other organism for the food? Based on all these features, basically mode of nutrition is of two types. The requirement of, I hope I'm clear, or just quickly give a thumbs up and let me, yeah, okay, fine. Now, mode of nutrition, if I talk about, the requirement of the raw material and energy is common in all organisms, whether that is what I said, unicellular and multicellular. But then all it depends, how do they obtain the food? Do they depend on other organism for the food or they are synthesizing their own food? So if the organism, based on if the organism is depending on the other organism for their food, they are not able to synthesize their own food, it is said to be as the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Autotrophic mode of nutrition, if the organism synthesizes their own food with a simple inorganic substances, they can synthesize the organic substance, that is their own food, then the mode of nutrition that is adapted by the organism is said to be as the autotrophic mode of nutrition. So, autotrophic mode of nutrition. Auto means what? Auto means self and troph means nutrition. It is the mode of nutrition in which the organism synthesizes its food from these simple inorganic substances in the presence of the sunlight. Organism that has adopted. So in autotrophic, the organism has the ability to synthesize their own food from the simple inorganic substances. In the heterotrophic, they cannot synthesize their own food, therefore, but food is required. So therefore, they has to depend on the other organism for the food. Rohit, hi, good evening. Organisms that has adopted autotrophic mode of nutrition are all the green plants, certain protists, and even some bacteria, as most of the bacteria is heterotrophic if we check. Autotrophs. Autotrophs are the organisms that synthesize their own food from the inorganic substances. Now, what inorganic substances do they require? They utilize carbon dioxide and water. They obtain these inorganic substances such as the carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide they take from the air, water they take up from the soil. Right. In autotrophic mode of nutrition, the organic component is food which is synthesized from the simple inorganic substances. So the autotrophs, what we can say, those organisms which can synthesize their own food. What do they require? They require the simple inorganic substances. And with the help of the simple inorganic substances, they can synthesize their own food. Adesh, hi, good evening. Okay. Water and in the presence of the sunlight. So heterotrophic, these are the two modes of nutrition basically. Heterotrophic mode of nutrition, hetero means others and troph is again the nutrition. Heterotrophic mode of nutrition, when the organism cannot synthesize their food but they obtain the nutrition from the other organism. These organisms cannot synthesize their own food but depend on other organisms for the food, and they are said to be as they adapt the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Heterotrophs, the organism that obtain their nutrition from the other organism, are known as the heterotroph. They depend now on which type of organism do they depend? They depend for food either on the plants or other animal. They are the consumer. Heterotrophs include all the animal, fungi, and most of the bacteria are heterotrophic in nature. Even we see some bacteria like blue-green algae that is autotrophic in the nature, but most of the bacteria comes under the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So before moving on further with the nutrition in plant, let us just quickly give a revision to the what is nutrition. Till now what we have done, we have checked what is nutrition. First of all, the basic requirement is the food. And why do we require the food? Because food is providing us the energy as well as energy to carry out various metabolic activity, as well as it is providing the raw material for the growth and development of the body. So the process of taking in the food is the nutrition, and the food that we take in is the nutrient. Now, based on how the organisms are taking in the food, there are two modes of nutrition: autotrophic and heterotrophic mode. What's the basic difference between the autotrophic and the heterotrophic? Autotrophs are those organisms that has the ability to synthesize their own food. Okay, with the help of these simple inorganic substances, they can synthesize the organic component. But in the heterotrophic, the heterotrophs do not synthesize their own food, but food they do require. So how will they obtain? They are going to depend on the other organism for the food, such as even they can depend on the plants, they can depend on the animals. So basically they are the consumers, and autotrophs, what we can say, they are the producers. Right? This is what we have seen. Now particularly we'll be talking about the nutrition in plant. As all other organisms, plant also require food in order to get energy to carry out different life process. Definitely, now plants in different metabolic activity also occurs in the plant. So they do require energy. From where will the energy be coming? Energy comes from the food. Green plants are autotrophic and synthesizes their own food with a process of the photosynthesis. How does the green plant, first of all, what is the mode of nutrition adopted by the green plant? They are autotrophic. Matlab, they are going to synthesize their own food. They do not depend on the other organism for the food. Now, they are autotroph, and now how are they going to synthesize their own food? They synthesizes their own food by the process of the photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process by which green plant synthesizes their own food from the simple inorganic substance such as carbon dioxide and water, by using the energy from the sunlight in the presence of the chlorophyll. So what is photosynthesis? It is an anabolic process. Why? Because in this process, what we can see there is a synthesis of the food. Something is getting synthesized, something is being formed, right? So photosynthesis is the process by which the green plants are synthesizing their food. Food, the organic component. So in order to form this food, they definitely require the simple inorganic substances. What simple inorganic substances do they take? Rutuja, good evening. Sanskriti, good evening. Priya, good evening. How are you all? All well? All good? Can you hear me up? Nice to see. Everything clear? Adesh, Priya, Sanskriti, Rishabh, good evening. Great. Now let's move on. So photosynthesis is the process by which the green plant is synthesizing their food. What happens in this process? How do they synthesize their food? They synthesize their food with the help of the simple inorganic substances such as the carbon dioxide and water in the presence of the sunlight. That is required. That's an anabolic process. So anabolic process means definitely they do require energy to synthesize the food. Anabolic matlab whenever the entire metabolism based on whether the substances are being synthesized or broken down, it's of two type of reactions are taking place, anabolic and catabolic. So photosynthesis comes under the anabolic, example of the anabolism, right? Because food is being synthesized. So definitely they do require the energy. They take this energy from the sunlight in the presence of the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a pigment that traps the light energy, sunlight energy. So here we can see 6CO2 plus 6H2O under the presence of the sunlight and the chlorophyll, C6H12O6 plus 6O2, oxygen is evolved. Now where is the photosynthesis taking place? I'm good. Thank you so much. Chloroplast at the site of photosynthesis. Again, important with a question point of view. What's the site of the photosynthesis? Where it is taking place? It is taking place in the chloroplast. What is chloroplast? Chloroplast is one of the plastid. It is a cell organelle present in the mesophyll cell. That is a majority cell, forms the ground tissue of the leaves which contain the chlorophyll. So chloroplast is one of the plastid. It's a cell organelle that is particularly containing the chlorophyll. Right. Now we'll quickly go with what is, first of all, if I talk about the nutrition in the plant. So what mode of nutrition are green plants adopting? They have autotrophic mode of nutrition. Autotrophic mode of nutrition means they are going to synthesize their own food. So in order to synthesize the organic food, they definitely require the simple inorganic substances. So by the process called photosynthesis, they are synthesizing their food, and in this process they require simple inorganic substances like carbon dioxide and water in the presence of the sunlight and the chlorophyll. They synthesize the organic component, right? Now where it is taking place? Photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplast. Chloroplast is majorly present in the mesophyll cell that forms the ground tissue of the leaf, matlab majority tissue, majority cells of the leaf, right? Now we talk about what is chlorophyll. Chlorophyll, it is a green color pigment present in the organelle, that is chloroplast, found in the plant cell. It's a green color pigment. The pigment has the ability to absorb the sunlight. The leaf of the plant are green due to the presence of the green color pigment called the chlorophyll. Why do they appear green? Because of the presence of the chlorophyll in the chloroplast. So this is basically, if you can see the structure of the chloroplast, this is a stroma. Here comes the thylakoid, stacks of thylakoid form the grana. This is the joining, that is a stroma lamellae. So here, what is actually the photosynthesis is taking place, the structure of the chloroplast. Okay, chlorophyll is present in this grana. Okay. Now, how photosynthesis occurs? Here comes. Carbon dioxide required for the process of the photosynthesis is taken. So first, inorganic raw materials, what we can see, CO2 and water. From where is CO2 taken? From the atmosphere, from the air. Now, how do they enter? The CO2 enters the leaf through the tiny pore that is present in the aerial part of the plant known as the stomata. Stomata are minute pores present on the surface of the leaf. Each stomatal pore, they have the kidney, bean shaped, that is guard cell. The opening and the closing of the stomata is controlled by the guard cell. So, it's the main what we can say site from where the CO2, the gaseous exchange is taking place. It is the stomata. Stomata plays a role over here. You can just check it out over here. This is the stomatal pore surrounded by the kidney shaped guard cells. The water required by the plant. Now, from where the water is coming up, water is taken, absorbed by the roots of the plant from the soil by the process of the osmosis. So, osmosis is basically the process in which the movement of the water molecule is taking place from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. The water absorbed by the root of the plant is further transported upward through the xylem. And now the complex tissue xylem, which is participating in the movement, in the conduction of the water, what we can say, to the leaves, because leaves actually where the mesophyll cells are there, which contain the chloroplast, where photosynthesis is taking place, so water has to be reached there. So through the xylem, which is one of the complex tissue, water is conducted upward, where finally it reaches to the photosynthetic cell in order to be used for the photosynthesis. Okay. The green pigment called the chlorophyll present in the green leaves, the chlorophyll is the one that is absorbing the energy from the sunlight. As a result, the green plant synthesizes their own food. Oxygen is produced as a byproduct in the process of the photosynthesis. So what's the byproduct? What we can say? Oxygen is being evolved. Now, what is the importance? We'll just check it out, the importance of the photosynthesis. In photosynthesis, what are the things that we can check it out? Light energy is converted into the chemical energy, that is food. It is being formed by making carbohydrate. The food synthesized by the green leaf is in the form of a simple sugar called the glucose. The food synthesized. Now, another complex tissue that is helping out in the translocation of the food is the phloem. So, the food synthesized by the green leaf is translocated to different part of the plant by the phloem. The extra glucose, which is immediately not used, is kept as a reserve food material, and that is said to be as a starch. Steps involved in the photosynthesis: absorption of the energy from the sunlight by the chlorophyll, the very first part. Splitting of the water molecule, the water molecules get split up into the hydrogen and the oxygen getting evolved. Hydrogen is used to reduce the carbon dioxide, that is a carbohydrate formation is taking place. Reduction of carbon dioxide by hydrogen to form the carbohydrate, that is the glucose. So these are the basic steps involved in the photosynthesis: chlorophyll absorbing the energy from the sunlight, splitting of the water into the hydrogen and oxygen evolve, hydrogen reducing the CO2 into the carbohydrate. Okay. Now, what's the importance? What's the importance of the photosynthesis? It is the primary source of all the food on earth. Definitely. Therefore, we say that green plant, which is not only preparing the food for themselves, or synthesizing the food for themselves, but also synthesizing the food for others as well. So therefore, they come under the producers because they are producing the food. It is releasing oxygen into the atmosphere. Also, this process, the photosynthesis, the mechanism helps in the release, evolution of the oxygen into the atmosphere. Other requirements that is required by the plant is taken from the soil, such as nitrogen, phosphorus, magnesium, all the things that is required. So quickly, I'll just give a revision what we have studied, the most important point. Nutrition in the plant. If I talk about the nutrition in the plant, plants are adopting the autotrophic mode of nutrition. What do you mean by autotrophic mode of nutrition? Means they are synthesizing their own food. They simply require so they are synthesizing their own food. Now, the process by which they synthesize their own food is said to be as the photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is the process by which the green plant is synthesizing their own food from the simple inorganic substances such as the CO2 and water in the presence of the sunlight and the chlorophyll. CO2 is taken from the atmosphere, water is taken by the roots of the plant, absorbed from the soil itself. Right? Now, if I talk about the photosynthesis, where it is taking place, so it is the site of photosynthesis is the chloroplast, the cell organelle that is involved is chloroplast. Chloroplast contains the chlorophyll, and chloroplast is cell organelle which is present in the mesophyll cell of the leaf, which is participating in the photosynthesis. What is chlorophyll? It is the green color pigment that has the ability to trap the sunlight energy and participate in the photosynthesis. The leaves of the plant are green due to the presence of the chlorophyll. This is the structure of the chloroplast. In higher classes, you're going to study the entire photosynthesis because we are moving with standard 10th level. So, entire photosynthesis, it has been divided into two steps, that is a light reaction and dark reaction. How photosynthesis occurs? First of all, that is how the raw materials are coming up. So carbon dioxide, first raw material, it is taken by the air. Now stomata, the minute pore which is present in the aerial part of the plant. This is the pore that is helping out in the exchange of the gases, right? Responsible or involved in the exchange of the gases. So the stomata is guarded by the kidney or bean-shaped cell, that is a guard cell. The water required, now from where the water is coming up, the water is taken by the plants from the soil. Roots are taking up the water from the soil by the, so which process, here the question can be there, which process is involved in absorption of the water by the roots? That is the osmosis. That is, osmosis is a passive process, it do not require the energy. The movement is from the higher concentration level to the lower concentration level. Right, Simran? Good evening. Okay, so the water absorbed by the root of the plant is further. Now here the complex tissue, it is the root that is absorbing the water from the soil, but actually it's the mesophyll cells present in the leaf which is containing the chloroplast, all participating in the photosynthesis. So this water has to move towards the leaf that has been absorbed by the roots of the plant. Here comes the role of the complex tissue, that is a xylem. Xylem is going to help out in the conduction of the water from the root to the leaves. It's a unidirectional movement. And then finally it reaches to the photosynthetic cell so that the photosynthesis can take place. The green pigment called the chlorophyll present in the green leaf absorb the energy of the sunlight and ultimately help in the synthesis of the food. Oxygen is produced as the byproduct. So again oxygen is evolved or liberated out through the stomata, it's moving out. In photosynthesis, light energy is being converted to chemical energy. This is also very important in photosynthesis. Which energy is being converted to which of the following energy, right? Once the food is synthesized, it is required by each and every living cell. So here comes the role of the another complex tissue, that is the phloem, which is helping in the translocation of the food from the leaves to the different cells where it is required. So the movement of the food is multidirectional. But that is, we can say translocation of the food is multidirectional, but water movement conduction is unidirectional where xylem is involved. Now the glucose that is not immediately used up, so that glucose is being stored in the form of the starch as a reserve food material. Steps involved in the photosynthesis: absorption of the energy, spreading of the water into the, first of all, energy, sunlight, sun's energy getting absorbed by the chlorophyll, water getting splitted up into the hydrogen, oxygen. Oxygen though evolved out, hydrogen, what is it doing? Reduction of the CO2 and then forming the carbohydrate. Importance: plant is not only preparing, synthesizing the food for themselves, but it's a primary source for all the food on earth. So therefore they are said to be as a producer. It also releases the oxygen into the atmosphere. So this is all. Abhishek, hi, good evening. Okay, so this is all about the today's class, all of you, standard 10. In next session, I hope the topic is clear. The session is of half an hour. In next session, we'll be taking some other topic that will be helpful for you. And I would like to tell you, in the special classes, Unacademy learning app, through Unacademy learning app, you can come down to the special classes. Even in order to come down to special classes, you have to use a code. Please do use my referral code as SKLife10. In special classes, I bring good lot of series like Fun with Biology, then Fight for Biology, in which entire biology say MCQ questions are there, and you have, and there at the end you win, you have chances to win the certificate. So it's literally very interesting, and I think you should participate. It's all a free class, but the only thing is that you have to come down to Unacademy learning app. You have to use the code SKLife10. Go to my profile, Shalini Kumari Keshri, and then go to free classes. You can follow me over there. If you follow me there, whenever I'll be coming with the classes, you will get the notification. Apart from that, you will also have a message option, so you can drop a messages to me. Okay. Yes, Unacademy special classes is free. Adarsh, you can come there. Just download the Unacademy learning app and you can come to my classes. Go to free classes. Options are there. Go to my profile, Shalini Kumari Keshri. But there a code will be asking in order to take avail the free classes also. So you have to use a code. Please do use my referral code as SKLife10. Even share among your friends. And I think coming down to free classes, you can get the environment of the Unacademy. And further, you can plan to take the subscription of Unacademy Plus. So anyways, bye-bye. Looking forward for a healthy crowd in the Unacademy Plus and Unacademy special classes. Till then, bye-bye. God bless you all. Take care. And one more thing. From tomorrow, there is one more series for this month is starting, that is Love with Biology. 9 to 10 p.m. So this is all free. Entire questions, MCQ poll questions will be there from entire bio. I think this will be very helpful for all of you. You'll be enjoying it. But the only thing is that you have to come down to Unacademy learning app, go to the free classes and put the code. Unlock the free classes by using the code SKLife10, and there you can join me sharp at 9 to 10 p.m. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 9 to 10 p.m. You have Love with Biology MCQ poll series. 3-day series is it, and I think you all are going to enjoy it. Okay. So definitely I look for a healthy crowd for all of you. Bye-bye. God bless.